my channel, Haylee Marie Vintage. Today I have another sewing adventure for you. This one I am actually probably the most nervous about of a project that I've done in a while because it involves complete unknown to me. I am doing something with knit fabric today. So here is the pattern I am working off of. So this is Simplicity 1302. Simplicity did do a reissue of this pattern. However, I am using the original one from 1945. Very fragile and rough condition. But I think it'll be really cute. So I am doing the swimsuit. I'm not going to do the jacket. I have very little use for a swim jacket, but I'm doing the bathing suit, which is basically a halter top, shorts, and then a skirt that goes on top of it because, you know, gotta be extra. So what I'm talking about when I'm saying I'm using knits for the first time is these I bought at Joann's. These are just their swimsuit lining knits. I got these because the pattern calls for jersey, actually. For the inside, since we are now in modern day and we have swimsuit lining, I'm just going to use a swimsuit lining instead of a jersey knit. I think it'll be much more comfy. And then it does call for cotton for the outside. So not only will I be doing like knits for the first time, I'll be mixing knits with wovens. So that'll be a bit of an adventure of figuring out like what needle works best and which stitch and all that jazz. I think this will be really cute because I can basically have the stripes all do different things. I don't know yet what that is, whether it's the stripes go up and down on the bust and then across on the other swimsuit. I've read over the instructions. This looks just a little bit tricky, and I'm doing buttonholes in a stretch woven mix, and I don't know how that's gonna go. So yeah, overall I'm just a little bit nervous about this project, and I will take you along on this adventure with me as I learn to work with knits for the first time, and I guess make my first ever swimsuit. But I figured it's July. It's a good time to make a swimsuit because I'll use a swimsuit, and I really hate all the swimsuits I could buy. So yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. But basically, I am just starting with all my single things. Spooky, come here. She was here a second ago. I don't know if I got interrupted when I said she was napping, but now that she heard all the stuff coming out to cut fabric, she is wide awake and very excited to help. She's back there drinking water right now, which I'm very proud of her. Glad she's drinking water. It's been hot here. But yeah, so I'm just going to basically be cutting all these single pieces out, and then I will hop into super speed mode basically, and then I will be back out of super speed mode when I'm looking at all my pieces that I have more than one to cut out of. So let's hop into speed mode. Spooky. This little jerk. So, you don't see what she did, but she was back there clumping around on my pattern pieces after she just dipped her whole paws in water. Huh. So she was just very, very naughty. So it looks like I saved anything from like long-term damage. The ink might bleed a little, but her paws are wet. Like, she literally just dipped her paws in water and walked on my 1945 vintage pattern instructions. You are lucky I love you, pretty girl. Goodness. Very naughty. Okay, now I'm gonna cut. Cut out. I'm gonna do the trunks next, I think. Yeah, and then I'm also gonna just kind of get this chunk away from that chunk. But yeah, so I'm gonna do the swimming trunks next. These I am going to still cut singly because I want them to match exactly to each other. So we're going to give that a go, I suppose. What's really nice when you're working with striped fabric is you just like line up your lines, and it's super nice. But what I am doing right now is basically once I finish this, there's no way in hell I'm getting the 22 inches or the 4 strips that are 21 inches for the skirt. The ties, it feels like if you just put the button there, you could make the ties like not a thing. So that's what I'm going to try and do, is basically make it so I don't have to add the ties. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a day for filming. So basically, while I'm off camera, what I'm going to do, let me go get it, is, so I am going to, while not on camera, I'm going to, put in all the notches and markings on all of these. I haven't been doing that as I go. And then I'm going to cut the swim trunks and the bra pieces out of this jersey swimsuit lining. And that is what I'm going to do while I'm off camera, and I will check back in tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be actually like sewing, which is exciting because this has felt like a long cutting spurt. I've only been cutting for an hour, for 56 minutes, but it's felt like a lifetime, and I'm really bummed that I came up short on fabric. But what can you do? So yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, I'll keep an eye on this and hopefully it'll stay light enough. We've got, I don't know if you can see, Spooky's in the background. She's up, she's alert, kind of. This is her sleepy point in the day. But here we are. It's me versus instructions. Not super excited. Basically right now, I'm going to flip the camera to show you what I'm actually doing. But I'm following a few different instructions right now. I have this, which I am sewing together where these pins are. Hopefully you can see those. That is what I'm starting with. And then I'm also sewing these. We're going to see how this goes. This is a stretchy fabric with a woven fabric, and hopefully it doesn't completely suck. I also don't really know how to iron these because they're not the same temperature of iron. I don't know. This is going to be interesting. But basically it has me sewing this side and then sewing down. And then top stitching the side of this, and then this part, it has me like making basically a boning channel. Almost, kind of, except for I'm putting string through it to make the like keyhole in the middle. And then lastly we have the straps. So for the straps, basically I'm sewing down to this one vertical pin and then turning, and then these straps will be what I'm fitting the outside, I think, of the swimsuit thing too. So I'll probably show you guys what this looks like after I'm done ironing, or while I'm ironing. I don't know. I don't really know what my game plan here is. All I know is this pattern feels very confusing and I feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it'll be fine. Lots of top stitching. I'm going to top stitch in white for this. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a little anxious, feeling a little nervous. Spooky's not. Spooky's feeling very sleepy. But yeah, so we'll get sewing. Just kind of show you my progress. So I have the cups. I just kind of want to show you. So basically what's happening here is you put the cord down in these channels here, if you can see them, and you bunch them up on that, and then it gets sewn somehow onto this. This is like the middle thing, and then you bunch in the sides and you sew the strap down like this. And I think that about covers it. So yeah, not actually as complicated as I was feeling. You do need to put buttonholes on the straps like here. But that's my like very last step. I'm gonna figure that out on all things at once because I'm kind of waiting to see how this looks before I decide what buttons I'm using, because I'll either use really, really cute buttons that I really like, or I'll use some kind of meh buttons. Just want to update you on where we are here. So this here is my lovely little top. I can, I guess, show you what it looks like on sort of over this clothes. So what I've decided here is the instructions have me putting buttonholes in this and putting buttons on this and then having this be a tie. That seems just way too complicated for me. I think it's dumb. I would rather just be a both tie swimsuit so I don't have to have like permanentness on this swimsuit, if that makes sense. Like I don't want this swimsuit to be fixed by where I have buttons and things like that. I would just rather have everything be a tie. And so let me show you real quick what this looks like when I do that. Cool. This is really funny. So this is what this looks like on. You can kind of see, so there's some interesting fit issues. I don't know if you could see that this is gapping here. So basically the only way to fix that is to tie this higher up on my back. So if you look, it kind of goes up. That's the only way I can figure out how to fix this. Otherwise, I think it's turning out really, really great. I will show you this with not a dress under it, but I don't feel like doing that right now. And then you can see it goes that, and then yeah, these straps are supposed to connect down there. So this here is supposed to tie, and these are actually supposed to connect back. But I would rather wear it as a halter. I think it's cute as a halter. And like I said, I appreciate that it gives me some flexibility in how it fits. It's also nice because I can adjust it as I'm out and about. So this is really cute. I love the little keyhole detail here. And then the other thing that I did, so last time I checked in, I had my channel sewn for the cord here. That didn't work out. I could not get the cord through the channel. I spent almost 2.5 hours trying to force this goddamn cord into the channel. It didn't work. So what I ended up doing was tearing out all the stitches from the channel. I ended up folding the cord into the channel and then sewing it so that way I wasn't feeding the cord through the channel after. This worked really, really well, and so basically the way it works is down here is where the two ends of the cord are, and the cord basically goes up and then it goes back down. And that's how I have the little keyhole here. It's kind of a handy trick to know now. So I'm not quite sure yet when I'm going to check in, if it's going to be today or if it's going to be tomorrow. But basically, I feel so silly. This is so funny with this outside of it. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew all the darts of the shorts off camera. I don't think you need to see that. I will note the other thing I'm noting is, so there's a lining in here that is stretch. I'm trying to see if I can grab it out. Yeah. So this stretch fabric, normally with stretch you sew zigzag stitches so the fabric stretches, I think. That is what I've read. I don't factually know this. Because this is meant to not be like a swimsuit that like is super stretchy or wild or anything like that, I actually have decided not to do that. So instead I am just sticking with straight stitches. But yeah, I don't know. I do think this is turning out really cute. I'm excited to, at the very least, wear this top out. Even if the bottoms end up not working, I can wear this top with one of my existing swim bottoms, and it would be super cute. But we are going to now jump into the shorts, like I said. So I went ahead and I sewed up these guys. These are the undershorts. So basically, I put in the darts, and then I sewed these up, and then what I'll be doing, and I'll check in after I'm done, is I'll be making casings here for elastic. So that way I think the idea is like these don't float around, so you don't actually like reveal anything you don't want to, because obviously the leg hole for this is quite wide. That's like my guess. So that is what I'm doing with these, and then let me move my camera to show you something else. And then here are the other pieces. So as you can see, I put the darts in these. So basically the next step will be, oh sorry, let me center this a little bit better. So basically what I'll do for these while I am off camera is I'll be sewing up the fronts, the sides, and then getting them ready to join to the other shorts. I'm not going to quite hem these yet. It has me hemming them before I attach the other shorts, but I'm not that worried about it. So I'm not going to, but yeah, so yep, center seam, then side seams, and then this like crotch V seam is what I will be sewing next. Alright, this is looking so good. I just tried it on to make sure basically that this lets it fit over my hips, which it does. I originally put it on backwards, which made it look like a diaper, and I was really worried this was going to be super ugly, but then I realized I was wearing it backwards, so it's all fine. So what I'm doing next here is, let me show you. So these are the swimsuit bottoms. So basically right sides go together. Basically it has you stitched down here, and then on the other side, which is the button flap, and then all the ugly things like this will be in the middle. So I'm gonna do that, I guess, off camera. But basically, yep, you'll see it'll be like this, and then I'll turn it and flip it inside out and have everything ready to go. I'm super excited. This is shaping up really well. All right, here we are. As you can see, we've got the liner put in. I actually basted it down around the top, so when I put on the waistband here, I don't have to worry about it as much. I know I should do the buttonholes right now, but I'm kind of putting it off. I don't know. I guess I should. I'm just gonna do these via my machine. I'm not gonna do hand by hand buttonholes. They'll go right here, and then you have like this nice overlap to keep anything from showing because of buttons, I guess. So that's what that looks like. Waistband is pretty straightforward. We're gonna stitch these on wrong sides together, put it back on, like flip it around, and then I'm actually going to top stitch because this is such a top stitched swimsuit. A lot of times I will like do it by hand in the back, but because I'm ideally washing this more often, I'm trying to do basically no hand stitching on this and the bra, which I have succeeded in so far. Actually, and then next time I check in, I'll probably show you these guys completed, and I'll also be starting the skirt. Alright guys, I'm gonna bring you along live on pleating this skirt. I'm so bad at pleating. So this actually is the most explicit directions I've ever had. It says from the outside of H, crease along lines of medium size blah blah blahs, which in this case I marked in the pink. I marked the small in the blue. Bring crease to nearest upper edge. Bring crease nearest upper edge to line of small dots. Top stitch in place to form a second pleat, bring second crease to upper medium, and bring and to small, as shown, form the third. Interesting. So basically they're all stacking on top of each other on the inside, but then on the outside they're going to be like a slight bit. So what I'm first going to do is crease this guy. Seems to work because that looks the way it should, because like this is evening out. And then it says to bring this pleat essentially up to the other dots. So let's see. Yeah. So maybe arguably like this. Okay, so a little bit lower. So I don't know, I'm hoping you can see these. I did not necessarily mark these for you guys. And then it says to top stitch it, so I will real quick do that in a second. But first I'm gonna... I like don't know how far down I should iron the creases, but I am, even though it tells me to top stitch right away, I'm gonna real quick, I don't know, I'm skeptical I have them all right. And so I'm gonna do this, and then we're doing another 2 here. This all is like looking correct. Like I said, I really struggle in creasing or pleating, I mean. And then basically I think it wants me to pretty much take this up to here And then this goes, if you look back here, you can see that guy. So this is supposed to go to that. And then sorry guys, this is hard. So I almost need it to like do this, except for it needs to, I don't know. Okay, we'll say this works. Because I think this makes sense. Yeah, that looks good, I think. So now we just have to do this one more time, where we're gonna crease on this guy. I guess I should, did I pin the other one? No, I did not. So let me get this one pinned. And then this guy here goes up, and there's like it should, I think, technically align with this. I think technically all of these are basically supposed to equal this line, right? That would be my guess. Like they're all supposed to almost basically make a straight line. Like this. Actually, this looks right, guys. I'm very excited. So these are not the most perfect pleats ever, but they will do if you look. They definitely like kind of drape this the way it's supposed to. I really need to watch my hand with that iron. I just straight up grabbed it. And then that's that. That's how this pleats. And so I'm gonna top stitch all of those down. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing basically, because I'm gonna basically make the skirt off camera. So there's this front piece, which is the outside drapey piece. And then there's a like front and back that you just sew together like very nonchalant-y. And you narrow hem one side of that guy, and then you just put the waistband across all of it. It does have you make a bow, which I think I'll do. So originally I hadn't cut enough stuff for the bow, or I thought I didn't have enough fabric for the bow, but I realized I'm dumb and I cut 4 B's. And I only needed 2, and I cut 4 D's and I only needed 2, so I actually should have enough. But yeah, so I guess I'll check back in probably when I'm about to put on the waistband. We're pretty much ready to sew this on. As you can see, we have the full length here. Something was off in my cutting, and so I did have to like fold this back more than planned. I'm hoping to maybe gain a couple inches in sewing, but we'll see, and if not, no biggie. But yeah, basically after this I add ties, and then we're good to go. So that is that, and I will check back in for the reveal. So we have done the reveal. You've seen how it looks. I am so proud of this garment. I guess I'll talk about it in order of making. So this is that first piece. This is the swimsuit top. I think it looks so good. In the future, I don't think I actually would make any adjustments to this. I might, having this button maybe, like having some buttonholes and having it like wrap around and button and having the straps be shorter, just because I think it would be nice to not have both things be tied. But I do feel like it looks really good. I don't feel like I actually made any major sewing mistakes on this one. Like, I feel like it looks exactly the way it should. I really like the way those stripes kind of play off each other and things like that. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. And then next would, I guess, be the, hold up, short things I just dropped. So these shorts, I think these shorts are super cute. I really love the buttons I chose for these. I think this was a really good use of these buttons that I've been kind of holding on to, because like I said, they're sturdier, they're more durable, I can wash them more. I think these are really cute. I think in the future I would add just like maybe like a 1/2 inch to 1 inch of width, so the waist is just a little bit less tight. If I'm sewing completely in stretch, I'm actually totally fine with the tightness of the waist. But if I'm sewing in a rigid, like woven thing like this again, I think that'll change. And then the swimsuit liner, I guess I could just turn it inside out to show you. It's pretty like diapery looking. I actually think if I was to make this with a, like both of the materials being stretchy, both the lining and the stripy part of the fabric, the outside, I would actually probably just like sew the hems of these together. For me, this is tight enough on my thighs that I don't feel like I need the extra security. Even now, I think if I really wanted to, I could basically go in and hem the lining to be shorter. And not have it have that elastic diapery effect. However, I think it fits well in the butt. I think it fits pretty well in the front. I don't know really how to fix the bunching issue and if the bunching issue is even fixable. So yeah, there is that. But yeah, I think it's really cute. And then the last thing, the skirt. There would be a few things I might change about the skirt. So they did not have you like sew 2 pieces of fabric together for these. They had you narrow hem, and I was really lazy in the way that I narrow hemmed, and I only did 1 turnover. I didn't do 2 turnovers, so as a result I have like stringies coming off of it. So in the future it's that I would actually cut 4 of these. These are also longer than the one they do recommend. However, I like that they're longer. So yeah, I would just definitely cut 4 of these, sew them all together, and then attach them, because then I think it would just look a little bit cleaner. I would also add, so this is a side seam and this is a side seam. So as you can see, I kind of added some width there to make this more comfy. And so I think as a result, I would just like lengthen this a tiny bit and a smidge in the front. I don't think it really matters that the side seams don't necessarily like perfectly hit. But I think that pretty much concludes it. I think this was a really good make. The stretch fabric on this, I didn't even change my needle, which is probably not ideal. But because I was sewing with woven and stretch, and because the woven would not allow the stretch to stretch, I didn't sew with zigzag seams or anything like that to give it extra stretch. So I would need to figure that out on a new one, because I don't have a serger. I don't plan to ever have a serger, because I'm not really very interested in using a serger. I don't know, I feel like I have some stuff to figure out if I was to sew like a swimsuit and full swimsuit fabric. I am happy with my choice of lining. I was debating going with the jersey recommendation that the pattern had, but I think choosing the modern day swimsuit lining was a good call. I will, I guess, maybe comment down below later when I actually wear this and it gets wet, like how comfortable or uncomfortable it is, how much it dries. The lining is like the quick dry material, and then the rest is just a cotton, and it's a pure cotton. There is no polyester in it. So it's kind of hard to say until I use it. I won't ever swim with the skirt in the pool. It will always be just the bottoms and the top. And yeah, sewing a swimsuit isn't as hard as I thought it would be. So if you feel reluctant about trying a stretch fabric or trying something just like a little bit different out of your comfort zone, go ahead and do it. This was really, like, I was fully equipped to do this. If I do the pattern a second time, yes, it would be nicer. However, that's true of literally any pattern I use. So yeah, and I will link, I believe they actually sell this pattern in a reproduction version. I obviously can't tell you if their reproduction's any good because I sewed with the 1945 version, but if you are interested in picking this up in your size, there's a lot more options for you, so definitely check that out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely stay tuned for the next 2 weeks of content. It should be some snippets for my trip to Pennsylvania. I think first I have a bird box, and then it will be snippets from antiquing and thrifting in Pennsylvania, so stay tuned for that. Definitely subscribe and stick around for it, and I will see you next time. Bye!